Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question comes to us straight out of the Judge Vault, and it was requested by viewer Josh. Amy plays Oblivion Ring against Nick's Grizzly Bears. In response to the ability that exiles Grizzly Bears, Nick disenchants the Oblivion Ring. What happens? In order to answer this question, let's go through exactly what happens step by step. First, Oblivion Ring resolves and enters the battlefield. This causes its ability to trigger. Amy targets Grizzly Bears with this ability as she puts it on the stack. Nick responds to that ability by casting Disenchant. Note that he could not cast Disenchant on the Oblivion Ring in response to the Oblivion Ring spell because he needs the artifact or enchantment to be on the battlefield, not the stack, in order to be able to disenchant it. So this was the earliest time when Nick could have made that play. Because of how the stack works, Nick's Disenchant will resolve before the Oblivion Ring's ETB ability, and Oblivion Ring will be put into Amy's graveyard when that happens. Oblivion Ring left the battlefield, so its other ability will now trigger. Because of how timing and priority works, that leaves the battlefield ability will go on the stack on top of the enters the battlefield ability, and it will therefore resolve first. When the leaves the battlefield ability resolves, Amy will return the exiled card to the battlefield. Except there's just one problem. There isn't an exiled card yet. This ability therefore won't do anything when it resolves. Next up, the Oblivion Ring's enters the battlefield ability will resolve, and there's absolutely nothing stopping that one from functioning exactly the same as it always does. The ability doesn't say something like, if Oblivion Ring is in play, exile target non-land permanent. Therefore, the Grizzly Bears will be exiled when that ability resolves. And because Oblivion Ring has already left the battlefield by this point, there's no normal way for the Grizzly Bears to return. The way Nick should have played this would have been to wait until the ability that exiles Grizzly Bears resolves, then cast Disenchant. This way, he wouldn't run into the problem where the Grizzly Bears ends up getting stranded in the exile zone. Now let's take a look at this similar card, Banishing Light. It doesn't work the same as Oblivion Ring. Rather than having one triggered ability that exiles the targeted permanent and another that returns it to the battlefield, Banishing Light just has one triggered ability that does both. I wonder if this is going to result in any change in how the situation from the original problem statement works. So everything is going to be exactly the same up until the point where the Disenchant destroys the Banishing Light. The Banishing Light gets put into Amy's graveyard, and this is the spot where the Oblivion Rings leaves the battlefield ability triggered in the last example, except, like we just talked about, the Banishing Light doesn't have one of those. Therefore, we go on to the point where the Banishing Light enter the battlefield ability resolves. And again, we have another difference. Oblivion Ring says to just exile the target, but Banishing Light says to exile it until Banishing Light leaves. If the Banishing Light leaves the battlefield before the exiling happens, then the target won't be exiled at all. In this case, Nick is wise to kill the Banishing Light with its ETB trigger on the stack, especially if the Grizzly Bears had any +1/+1 counters or auras on it, since it will get to keep those, unlike what we had in the Oblivion Ring case. Today, cards are printed usually using the Banishing Light template, because people thought that the trick where you could permanently strand the target in exile was kind of counterintuitive, not to mention extremely unfun for Nick to find out for the first time in a competitive rel environment. But from time to time, we see cards like this Aurelia's Vindicator that use the other template, so be sure to keep your eyes open. And for the fellow templating gurus in the comments, I look forward to a rousing discussion on why this card needed to use the older template and what changes in wording they might have considered as alternatives. And that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling. Until then, I hope you have a great day.